save the defending national champion for the final weight of the night, 149. And earlier today, Caleb Henson getting to his offense frequently. Semifinal win as he took down Jack Geoffrey, and then the All-American from a season ago down a weight at 141. Lachlan McNeil, he's into the ACC finals for the first time as he was able to outlast the four-time NCAA qualifier Jade Navis. And here we go. Henson, the reigning national champion. McNeil, the semifinalists, down at 141 last year, now up at 149, ready to try to take down the national champion from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, the story here is Lachlan McNeil finally getting his opportunity to wrestle Caleb Henson. They didn't wrestle in the duel. He's excited for this match, but Caleb Henson, he's always game.
Champion is in the house, and an opportunity to close off what has been a solid statement-sending day of wrestling from Virginia Tech. 3 ACC champs so far tonight. Will Henson be the fourth? A day that started bright and early at 10 a.m. local time here in the Eastern time zone, and now we come down to the final 7 minutes of wrestling inside Cameron Indoor Stadium.
The one word that I could describe both of these guys is competitors, and they both put it on the line every time. Caleb Henson, a national champion last year. Lachlan McNeil wrestles all the time, represents Canada overseas. He's always game for a big match, and this is going to be really exciting. Two guys that hand fight exceptionally well. You'll notice a lot of times when Lachlan McNeil wrestles, he'll spend the first 5 minutes beating the guy up in the hand fight to set up his shots. Henson is no different in that regard. It's a really vicious underhook punch by Henson. He's getting really good at using that underhook. Notice how he tries to pull him underneath. McNeil's ready for it.
This time trying to drive in his left arm hook. Collar there by McNeil. Lachlan McNeil, the redshirt junior out of Toronto, Ontario, a Wyoming seminary product. Tons of international experience. He was born and raised in Scotland. His father, Galen, was a 1992 Olympian at 68 kilos, representing Great Britain back in the day. His family moved from Bahrain to Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, when he was just 5 years old. He and his brothers formed a club while they were in the Middle East. A bunch of jiu-jitsu kids that they all just rolled around in the room and learned the sport of wrestling.
Yeah, he's been around great wrestling his entire life, and you notice that with his wrestling IQ. You watch his matches, it's not just the wrestling technique, but it's the situational awareness on the edge with time. He's just both of these guys are really just masters of the sport.
We talked about it earlier. These two have not met. Henson at 49 pounds last couple of years. First year for McNeil, bumping up to 149.
At this time, the top three at
really heavy snaps, and this is the kind of wrestling that sets up attacks later in the match against a really good guy. Well, if you're whoever you are in this match, it's going to be hard to get a good attempt in the first period, maybe in the first couple minutes. It takes a little bit of time getting that hand fight going, soften up the guy to open up an opportunity later in the match. There you see a great slide by Henson. I really like that series that he's doing. Punch, underhook hard. When the guy defends it, look for a slide by.
Scoreless in this first period. Henson with his momentum moving forward. McNeil 5 seconds. The last shuck there by Henson, and nothing through the opening 3 minutes. Tony Ramos ace in the corner for North Carolina, his 7th season. And Lachlan McNeil says a lot of his love for folk style took off while he was up in Canada, and he watched a ton of college wrestling. And guess who his favorite wrestler was? Mr. Ramos back in his day in Iowa City.
Ramos was a lot of kids' favorite wrestler back in the day. The intensity that he competed with, I mean, that's when you're a little kid, you see that. That's what I want to be. And now McNeil's living out this dream, being able to do it at the next level with somebody that he admires like Ramos.
Lachlan had such an extensive background in freestyle. His father introduced him to folk style after his dad developed a passion for the style during his 2 years of wrestling at a community college in Kansas. Blood timeout, stoppage in the action in between periods. What a day it's been for Virginia Tech. The Hokies with 88.5 points. They wrapped up the ACC title early in the night. Take a look at their results. 3-2 so far. Hippolito, Ventresca, and McGonigal, all ACC champs. Ventresca and McGonigal winning in sudden victory. And now Caleb Henson trying to get back on top of the ACC for the 2nd time in his career. What kind of gets lost and forgot was Henson did not win the ACC title last year. He lost to Jackson Arrington of NC State, who's utilizing his red shirt this year. And Henson told us he was really banged up during the tail end of the regular season and the postseason last year, entering Kansas City in the NCAAs.
Yeah, you mentioned the ACC final last year. Henson and Jackson Arrington had a legendary brawl. That was a really good match, and we finished the ACCs with that match as well. Henson dropped that match, went on to win a national title. You mentioned it. Arrington in redshirt this year. It'd be really fun to see if those guys match up in these next couple of years. Arrington coming off redshirt.
Ryan Jack, another one for the Wolfpack, utilizing his red shirt this season. See that headband right now for Henson. Pretty good gash on his forehead as we start this 2nd period in the quick point for Henson in a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, really explosive off the bottom for Henson. You know that's a point of emphasis for him. Not waiting on bottom, getting to his feet right away, continuing to push this action. See Henson really picking up the activity with his hands, not just moving his feet, but using his hands to try to move McNeil, setting up some of his to end up setting up some of his takedowns.
Some pretty good clubs.
Yeah, now you can hear him from here. Yes, anytime these guys make contact, it's a full blow.
There is a purpose to it, and they deliver those hands with intent in mind, and that is those heavy hands and the violence that they bring with them.
And as I mentioned earlier, as a competitor, you hope that wrestling that physical style pays off later into this match. Who can be tougher longer? Who can be disciplined in the hand fight? And when that opportunity arises, who can take advantage of it? One thing we haven't seen from Henson yet is that club to a knee pull single. He always pulls that. It's kind of his #1 attack. I think we're getting ready to see that soon if he can load up and pull it, if he feels it. He's going to club on that left side, and then he'll pull knee pull. He'll do it to either side, but primarily with his left collar.
Neither wrestler able to generate any offense so far. Now Henson comes in, that long-range blast shot, short time, waterfall position as McNeil goes up and over the top. Again, Henson does not have a lot of time here, down to a second, and that is how the period will end.
Yeah, that was a great attack by Henson. Really penetrated in, just ran out of time there. But McNeil, good job defensively finishing out the period. Now he gets his opportunity on bottom to even out the score. This is going to be an exciting 2 minutes. With some of the other results across the country as well, you start looking at seeding. You know, Henson could really secure the #1 seed with this win here. McNeil, if he can pull the upset, would put himself in a really good position to set up well at NCAAs.
Quad pod out on the edge, and a restart in the center. Again, Virginia Tech, 88.5 points. They have clinched the team title. How about Pitt behind their 3 ACC champs? They have went right by NC State into the #2 spot. The Panthers sitting with 63.5.
And I'll tell you what, Henson wins a lot of matches like this. It doesn't get talked a lot, but he's really good at top and riding and getting 20 seconds here or there, 15 seconds. You notice how he's doing it. All of a sudden, he's got 23 seconds of riding time. That's a path to victory for him here. Not all the time are you going to have it opened up on your feet. You may have to grind out some riding time. McNeil's got to explode off the bottom. He can't afford to get himself to the edge anymore. Get yourself to your feet, find hands, explode, get your escape. So he needs to stay in the center here. Henson doing a good job of driving, head on head, a lot of pressure, using his elbows and his knees to push. This is great riding by Henson. He's getting a breakdown.
Yeah, really
building up his riding time.
Building up the body as well with that count mounting on the edge. Henson with a textbook display here in this third period.
And he's doing it in a way that's not stalling, right? We've seen this a little bit today where the top guy's getting hit for stalling. What Henson's doing is not stalling. He's working really hard to ride. He's looking for mat returns. McNeil's got to get to his feet, but he's got to do it in the center of the mat. Don't let him take you out of bounds. Here you see this a little bit more. McNeil squares up.
And he gets the one. 53 seconds of riding time. McNeil pushed it as Henson was closing in on that all-important riding time point possibility. But McNeil says, nuh-uh, we're tied at 1.
Here we go, 45 seconds left. This match is going to be decided on our feet here. We're going to OT. Henson, the only one that's gotten to the leg. Let's see if McNeil's got an attack here. There Henson goes, underhook to a single. He's got to pull it in. McNeil in a good sprawl. He's got heavy hips. Henson staying with it. This is for the 149 championship right here. 25 seconds. McNeil falling off. McNeil's trying to lock under the crotch and put him to the hip. Henson does a good job of stalemating that out. Both these guys are exhausted right now. Who's got more in the tank? Who's disciplined enough to execute when you need to the most?
The 1 seed, the defending national champion Caleb Henson. The 2 seed, the returning All-American 4th place finisher Lachlan McNeil. To the wire we go, and what really has been the theme of this Sunday night wrestling in Durham, North Carolina, and we go to yet another overtime. Just a remarkable night.
Yeah, these guys are warriors. This is what they're built for. When they train, they don't just train to go to the practice. They train after practice. They train the afterwards. They're ready for overtime. This is what they live for. ACC title on the line, overtime. Who's going to go get it?
Henson saw a little bit of an opening. McNeil for the first time gets tagged with stalling, and the action goes out of bounds.
Yeah, you said it. Henson's been rewarded for his pace. He got a stall call. That's huge going into overtime here. He's going to continue trying to get McNeil to the edge. He got a bite on that leg. He's close. McNeil's really got to pick up his activity because Henson's been dominating the center this past minute.
Henson won a sudden victory in an ACC duel this year with Solomon of Pitt 4-1. Sudden victory tonight. ACC title on the line. Both wrestlers reposition into the center. Again, the heavy hands both ways. Henson drives forward. Whizzer put in by McNeil. Key scramble here midway through this sudden victory.
He's attacking the body here. He's got to use his head, drive through. He's in a great place. Don't let McNeil scramble here. McNeil's got a good overhook. Really got to get strong here. Body lock, take it through. Big takedown. Caleb Henson, ACC title again. Great job sticking with that underhook. Gets to the body lock, gets strong. Big finish, Caleb Henson.
Caleb Henson capping off what has belonged to Virginia Tech. The Hokies crown their 4th ACC champion of the night. And the star power in Caleb Henson in sudden victory, getting the 3 in the takedown.
Check this out. Huge body lock, shifts his weight, uses his head, just continues to grind down. What I said earlier in the match, he set a pace that was really hard to keep up with, and he was rewarded with it with a big takedown late.
3 more team points for Virginia Tech. Big handshake from Coach Roby. And Trent, what a day of wrestling. 38 automatic qualifiers heading to Philadelphia. Wouldn't be surprised to see few at-larges get announced from this conference. Your takeaway from today?
Yeah, I think you have to expect getting a couple of at-large bids, a couple of really good guys that didn't quite get that allocation point. I think the story of the day, Virginia Tech really came out and they dominated from start to finish. You know, 4 champs, really just wrestled well in all positions. Pittsburgh second place is huge. There was a lot of talk about NC State, Virginia Tech, UNC. Pittsburgh said, hey, what about us?
They dominate the upper weights. Virginia Tech, 4 individual champions today. Pitt crowns 3. Virginia, NC State, Stanford each with 1 individual champion. 6 straight years of NC State dominance of this tournament comes to an end here in 2025. Virginia Tech back on top of the ACC for the first time since 2018. Congratulations to the Hokies. For Trent Hidley, Sean Kinney, our fantastic crew here in Durham, good night from Cameron Indoor Stadium.